for when we are gaming on the weekends. Hello, everyone. Hi there, Wendy
Yeah.
Chavez, my good friend Ash Weasel. I
Hello.
didn't get your Twitch. Can you look in the comments down below?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, just
Thank
look
you
in the
for
comments.
reminding me because I forgot about that too.
All good, all good. Yeah. So you hadn't streamed on Twitch in a while, right?
It's been
Like
a
you
bit,
had,
yeah.
because I remember I think I enabled your channel for like
Oops.
notifications, and I just hadn't gotten one. And so I go and I get one, and I was like, oh wow, this was. I thought like maybe like it kind of spazzed out and just hadn't worked for a while. Then I saw you. I was like, oh, this is so cool. All right, so it's in the
Oh,
chat. Let me. If I can copy. Oh wait, can I? All right, copy link address. Go to comments, and I think I can post it. Paste it here in the
okay.
comments, and that should go. Yes,
There
Twitch
you
TV. Hey, what's up, BB Dark? How's it
go.
going?
Hello.
There it is. Link
Yeah,
down below.
number one, I bless my little computer and I'm giving it pets right now because she has been such a trooper for this computer's like, this gaming PC is probably 6 or 7 years old. It's plugging along, but a lot of the games now that are coming out, I can't stream them because it gets so framey and I have like, I could play Fall Guys and sometimes that even gets a little choppy. And I can stream CS:GO. I don't know if you've ever played or heard
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So fun. And we've been playing Apex a lot, but I can't stream. That one's my favorite. And it makes me sad because all the games that I love playing with everybody are ones that I can't stream because my little baby is getting old. So we're getting ready for an upgrade here soon, so I can stream more and stream more games that I like. Um, and I know Jesse and I have been talking about doing like um, some co-op, like, scary games for October. Cause Jesse, Jesse, love of my life, but he's not like a camera person or anything, so it's like but he's so good at video games, like, he carries me everywhere we go, I love him so much.
His back
Um,
hurts from carrying you everywhere.
yeah, I always say, like, he's got a little JanSport backpack, and I'm just in the back, like, hanging out.
Oh, like Banjo Kazooie, where every now and then Kazooie will go and you'll go hot, 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 and then Banjo will be on the back.
Back, yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
so so I was like, we should find some games that I can, hold my own in, and scary games I think would be my ticket. I just finished BioShock, which I know that's an old game, but I never got the chance to play it when I was in high school. I just watched like friends play it. So I finally finished it and it was incredible. And so part of me is like wanting to do kind of a series where I play old games that I never got to play in high school, like Dead Space, finish BioShock, but I have the other ones. Fallout. I started Fallout
Oh, nice.
recently, so I think that would be kind of fun. But I'm trying to stream a little bit more now that my schedule's opened up with no job.
Love it.
Yeah,
Welcome to the
woohoo!
best side of life. Like
I
welcome to the
know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um. So why couldn't you? So these games, you just didn't have the systems for the games in high school.
Mm.
Okay, because
No,
that's
yeah, I didn't. I was a weird kid and I never wanted to ask for things that were expensive from my parents. So my dad, obviously, my dad and I just played my aunt's old Nintendo. And then when he deployed, he got me those little, oh, you can't see it, but it's like a little Nintendo charge or like cartridge fake one, when you go overseas and there's like fake things that you can use. So
oh
it's
yeah,
like um this little like
yeah
this little
yeah.
adapter thing. So I had Sega, I had that, I had my Game Boy, and that's kind of like what my dad and I played. I never asked for an Xbox. I had a PlayStation for a bit, but so I just never had the systems to play those. And now that, like gaming on the PC is like really big now, they
Yeah.
have all of those games that you could get through Steam. So that's my plan this year.
So if you have, and this is, I think a pretty decent possibility. If I can get partnered with YouTube in under a year with just going over like Pokemon content and Earth, this is before the Vivi and Omi stuff, before I
Hmm.
really, got a lot of my subscribers. I think probably in like a couple months, maybe even less, you could get partnered with Twitch. I don't know how much it requires. I think it requires like a month of streaming every day or something
Yeah,
like
I
that.
have to do it often, and that's where I struggle because it's like I said, it's the games that I don't play all the time are the ones that I can stream that my computer can keep up with. So like the very first thing is to get a computer upgrade. That's what
Yeah.
I need first. But
So
even
what?
like doing Switch games too, I would love to do that, like streaming Switch games on Twitch.
How do
Switch
you?
Twitch.
So is there? I imagine there is, and I just don't know how to do it because I have a Switch. How would I go so people see my screen
Hmm.
and then also see like me in the little bottom right corner?
When I stream, I have dual monitors, so I have two. So
Mhm.
I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, um, you would just plug in your Switch like HD cord into one of the um, monitors, and then you just share your screen, the whole monitor. Is what I'm
Oh, okay.
thinking.
Yeah,
Might be wrong
I
though.
think that would work. I don't. I also do not have a computer. I I
I
think that's
know you need one
I do.
because if we could play games together, you know how fun that would be.
It'd be amazing. Like, well, we'll play the Switch games online
Yeah,
together.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would
so
love that.
that'll be fun.
Mario Kart
Um,
drinking game.
I can't wait. Can't wait. I miss you so much.
I know,
Um,
miss you.
ah, so you
Woo!
just so I guess before I get to the other stuff, if you in the next couple months, you get let's say you just get partnered with Twitch, and then it's just like a little bit, maybe an extra couple $100s a month, or every now and then you'll get somebody like I have that they'll just come on stream and they'll just give you a bunch of donations, give you a bunch of donos, and if you go, I know you worked incredibly hard and you thoroughly enjoy teaching. What if after like 6 to 8 months, you're just like, I'm making almost as much, if not more, streaming on Twitch than I am on teaching? Would you still do teaching and like do both, or would you be like, I'm not going back?
I don't know. That's really hard, Jesse, and I've had this conversation before because it's like I
He
worked
knows.
my ass off for that degree. I worked so hard, so many tears, and like the timing of it, and it means something to me. Like I feel like teaching is so important, and I don't say this a lot about like myself, but like I'm really good at it too. And so that would be a really hard decision that I would have to make. I would love to be able to do both, but knowing myself, I have a hard time putting 100% in multiple things. I'm like, oh, focus on one thing kind of person.
Yeah.
And it would be super hard. But it would be crazy. I mean, you know, I don't know. See what happens, I guess, when that
Would
road comes.
So you have the name Ash Weasel. We have Adam Verse saying Randy Chavez would be a great professional wrestling name. Would you ever rebrand before you like, hey, I'm this Ash Weasel? No, you're gonna keep Ash Weasel.
No, my dad has called me that forever. That's it.
Okay,
That's
cool.
the I don't have a lot of, like, nicknames. There's only a very select few people who call me Ash,
Yeah,
and then other than that, that Ash Weasel has been my nickname from my dad for since I was little. So,
okay,
no, that's it. That's it
that's it
forever.
forever.
Yep.
So have you been watching She-Hulk?
No, I haven't, but I've seen some trailers and I wanna watch it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like it. I won't give you any spoilers or anything,
Okay.
but like a lot of superheroes, they tend to not pick their own name, so it's like the public picks it for them type of deal.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, so I was just wondering, like, any other nicknames? Obviously, you'd still always be Ash Weasel, but yeah, other people might call you. Just fair warning, other people might call you other stuff, like which you'd be fine with, like Ashley
Yeah.
Ketchum or Ashy, something like that.
Ash
Um,
Ketchum was a big one, and like, Pokemon was huge when we were younger,
it's still
people
huge.
boys it's still huge, you're right, but, like, when you're kids, it's like it was new and crazy, so then at school, everybody would be like, Ash is a boy's name," and so then I was like, "Well, shit, fine," but then I embraced it, I was like, "Yep, do you have that cool name? Because that's what I
Yeah.
have."
So tell me a little bit. You just got back from a trip from Europe.
I did.
Tell me about that. What?
Oh my gosh. So, I flew from, here in Washington to like went straight from here to Seattle, which is only like 45-minute flight, and then from
Yeah,
Seattle all the way to London. Um, Amazing. I met two great people because I was like squished in the middle. Didn't
yeah,
mean that to happen, but I was like in the middle of two people for a 9-hour flight. But luckily, they were super awesome. Flew into London and stayed with my super close friends that are stationed out there. Um, And then we had a couple days of just exploring like locally where they live. They kind of live out in their own little like they have a own little tiny little city. It was really sweet. And then my best friend Bridget and I had like a girls trip to London, so it was just us two, and we did that for like 3 days. It was incredible. We did a Jack the Ripper tour, so we like walked. It was so fun. We just like walked around all these different, places of historic, importance of people being murdered, but whatever. It was fun. We went to the National Gallery, so I got to see, Vincent van Gogh and Picasso and Monet, and it was incredible. Um, we uh, went to a one of the most haunted pubs in England. And did I send you that Snapchat or did you reply to it? Because
I
we were
probably
sitting
did. So what was
maybe
the place called?
10 Bells. So it's 10 Bells pub, and that's actually a place where one of Jack the Ripper's victims was at last before she was murdered.
So there was a, okay, no, that's a different one. Is this the place where you guys were drinking and a picture fell behind you?
Yes, dude, like,
That's so.
it was so freaking cool 'cause, both Bridge and I are very and I have something to show you too, so we'll circle back to that. But, we're both, like, really she's bless her heart, she's more of the, like, likes it from a distance, but when stuff actually happens, she's like, "Alright, I'm kinda freaked out." But we're, like, sitting there having drinks, having fun, and then we both heard, like, a little knock behind us, and so then when I turned around, one of the pictures was just, like, fell over sideways on another picture, and it made, like, a decent loud sound where there was a ton of people, like, obviously in England, everyone's drinking, have a good time, like, it's loud,
Okay.
but we heard it, and both of us were like, "Are you kidding me?" And we both, like, looked around like, "Did anybody else notice that?" But it was just us. I took a picture of it. How cool, though.
Uh, that
It was
yeah,
it was really cool.
I got the picture and I was like, go. So I didn't know that you were in a haunted place. I
Mhm.
thought that it was just a random place, and I my response was, "Ghosts, run, girl, run."
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah. Yeah, it was supposed to be one of, like, the most I'm pretty sure, one of the most or the most haunted pub,
do,
um, in
do you
England.
remember? I I think I only saw this on TikTok, but I've seen it like a couple different people covering it, where it's a. I think my friend Megan's home. Oh, hi. I didn't know you'd be home this early. I'm not Makey, so you're good. I just moved into a new place. So
Yay.
there's a TikTok where it'll show you the it talks about a woman or I think it's whoever it was. It's somebody that is in England and they walk down the street and then suddenly they are not in 2022 anymore. They are back like 50 years ago and the whole street is back where it was. Like there's these different crazy shops and they're from the 50s and it's just, nobody has cell phones. And then they freak out, they go back to where they were and then they come back. I think it's in England. I don't know exactly what the
Oh,
yeah, it's like they go into like this time warp and they go back like 60 years ago.
that's a no for me.
Yeah, I don't.
Actually, that'd be kinda cool, but a little weird.
I'm trying to go time travel England and see what comes up. I doubt anything's gonna. And it's a very broad thing. Um, no, no, I'm getting nothing. I'll try to find a TikTok at
Okay,
some point and get back to you.
that's
I will.
crazy.
Move you. Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of I was going through some clothes and stuff, and I came across this bad boy. Do you still have yours?
So I just had this crazy a crazy landlord experience like not a couple weeks ago and there's some stuff that just stayed there like there's some stuff that was just left
Just
there
there.
like and it like about my Oculus Quest was left there, my piano was left there, like there was a couple, like I got Dashi, of course, like my dog statue,
Obviously.
that's the
Yeah,
most important thing, and my
absolutely.
Switch. But yeah, so I think that was one of the things, one of the clothes that was unfortunately left there,
Oh,
the that
no.
sweatshirt. I had that since you gave it to me in like 2014 maybe.
Yes,
Yeah,
super long time ago. But
yeah,
I
8 years.
stumbled across it, and I was like, "How funny that we're chatting today." And I was like, "Oh." Um, but, yeah, so then after we partied in England, or in London, we had a blast. Um, my two best friends, they have two little boys, and so all of us went to Ireland for 3 days.
It's fun. What part?
And we went to Dublin and Galway and the Cliffs of Moher. Oh, it was so my dad's mom, my grandma, is from Ireland.
Hmm.
And so it was like, and my friend Bridget has a lot of strong, like really close relatives that are Irish.
Yeah.
And we just like felt like we were home. We were like, here's our motherland. Like it was so beautiful. I can't We took a bus ride for the whole day, like a whole 9-hour day of just a bus ride to go see the Cliffs of Moher, which is in a scene in a Harry Potter movie. I can't remember which one it is. I should know that.
Yeah, which one are they?
They're
Do you know what which
at
movie?
they're at a beach-ish, like where the
Oh,
cliffs
is
are.
that after like Dobby, dies? Because they're
Oh, it might be.
yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe someone would know. I should know that.
I
Shame
can't
on me,
remember which. I mean, what
but I
what are the
can't
times
remember.
they at a beach?
Well, I don't know if it's a beach, if it's just more like cliffs. Hey.
Yeah, is that?
Oh,
Um,
okay, not like I have a computer and a keyboard
Cliffs.
sitting right in front of me.
I mean, technically Hogwarts is like on a cliff, isn't it?
Let's see.
Yeah, I think Hogwarts is on a cliff, and then you have yeah, it's like Battle of Hogwarts. So that's in like all the movies.
It's a Half-Blood Prince, that's the one.
Okay, yeah, that's a sixth one. So I think that is that the one where Toby dies, or no, he dies in the seventh one, right? Part one.
Because it's with him
Yeah,
and
because they're hunting the Horcruxes.
Dumbledore.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
dude, he has an Oscar moment though, man. That was just oh that
I'm going through and rewatching because Jesse and I head to Florida next month. Go to Potter
oh yes,
World. I'm so
oh,
excited.
you
And
are gonna have the best time.
I was like, Jesse, I might cry. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know.
Mhm.
But I've been like making sure to show him all the movies because he grew up not being able to read them or watch the movies and stuff, which breaks my heart.
No.
But it's okay. Whatever. I have him now, so I've shown him so many things. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to go through and I'm showing him all of the Lord of the Rings too. So
Oh yeah.
I'm like
Have you
showing
watched the
him.
new Lord of the Rings series?
No, I have heard that it is not great.
I've heard mixed reviews. Yeah, some people
Yeah.
like it, but I feel like a lot of people that like it might not really hold Lord of the Rings near and dear to their heart, and they're just
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, I've seen them," and they like this just because it's decent. But I think that some people that really liked the old stuff because it's such a everything was like handmade and everything was like really they
Mhm.
spent so I watched a documentary on it. They spent more money on those three movies on a fantasy thing which had historically never made a ton of money on this, and it obviously paid off. I mean, and they did spend I think $500 million just on this, but I think half of that was securing like the rights from Tolkien.
Oh dang.
Yeah, like I think they spent a quarter billion like securing just the rights, and then the other.
Yeah. I read something about that where they were like, "Oh crap. We did not make enough money," or there was something about money with it. And I have like one of my super close friends who are actually seeing in Florida. He's a huge Lord of the Rings person and he's like, "I hate it." Like he is like not into it at all. So a person who like loves not a huge fan of The Hobbit, but he loves the trilogy a good bit. So it's like
Yeah,
I kinda take his word for it, but I'll probably watch it anyway
yeah.
just to
Um,
do it.
I will probably go and do a watch through when everything's done. I think everything is done, or it might be one episode left, and then I'll just
Mm,
just binge it, and see how it goes. But yeah, I think people with the Hobbit movies as well, they didn't really like it as much as the
mm-mm.
original.
The
But
Hobbit book, though, will forever be one of my favorites for sure. It's so good.
so tell us a little bit about what I've been curious about, and this is something that I have been nervous about with friends and even my own things. Like, how was it with traveling like with the kids? Like, obviously not yours. It was like your friends. Like, were there any things that you felt like you couldn't do? You felt like they impeded on certain things, or is like, nah, man, made it better because I got to see it through their eyes as well.
Yes, made it 10 times better. Jesse and I don't have kids, but I also am a person who is fueled by chaos and mayhem. I love that shit. So like when, we're on a bus ride and their kiddo is like 1.5-ish, and so he's like still teething a little bit, so bless his heart, he can't do anything about it. He's growing teeth out of his mouth. It hurts.
Uh,
So he would get like a little cranky and would like squeeze his like little pouches for food and like would squirt everywhere. And like, we're like staring as it was so close to like this lady's shoulder, like a blob of like poop
oh,
colored food. Yeah. But that's like funny to me. Like it was amazing. And and we actually had that conversation because it was like, we did all of the things that we wanted to do there, and that was like, you just take your kiddos with you. You just have to be prepared with food, entertainment, and extra clothes. Like that's what you have to do.
yeah,
And it was fun. Lots, and I got a good workout because their son is 4 or 5, and he would just get like tired of walking, so I'd give him like piggyback ride or he'd get on my shoulder. So I got a great workout
nice.
walking around Dublin with a child on my back. So like,
The weighted
yeah,
exercise.
yeah. Stop, drink a beer, go work off those calories by a little kid on my back. No, it was really fun. I could see how it can like maybe stress people out of having to, like plan differently, but like you just kind of go with the flow.
Yeah. I
It
mean,
was
I guess
fun.
at that point, if you have no other options, like, okay, well, I could either not do this or I could just do it with a kid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. Ireland's probably one of my favorite places there. Really beautiful. But nothing like drinking a Guinness in Ireland. That's like, you feel so good. You feel like you're like at one with nature, but in Ireland, like,
Yes. So we did the Guinness brewery tour. And so you like start at the bottom floor and you just kind of like work your way up going through like the music, like everything, la la la. And once you get to the top, you turn in your ticket for a free Guinness. And on the top floor, it's like a 360 glass area windows. So you are like drinking a Guinness looking over Dublin. I was like, I'm still dreaming about that moment. It was so like so fun, and everyone was just having a good time and just enjoying life with a
I didn't do
beer. It
that when
was
I
a
was there. I should do that next time.
do it. I know I got my mom, dad, and Jesse on the idea of going back and just going to Ireland and Scotland.
Yeah. I haven't been to Scotland either. Yeah, I totally
Oh,
want to do the, oh yeah. So how's Scotland? You went there too?
no, we didn't go.
Okay.
But my friends over there have traveled a lot, and they have gone to Scotland twice and want to go a third time. It's their favorite spot that they've been.
Okay. That
They
makes
were like, she's like, it was the most incredible. It's gorgeous. But I'm like a huge sucker for the like Gothic architecture that's castles and cathedrals. I'm so into that. That's my that's like where my heart is. And so any like I'm like taking pictures of everything. But they said that in Scotland it's just absolutely gorgeous, and that's just like a mood. Or it's like gloomy and kind of rainy, and oh,
yeah, that
I'm
Gothic
all in.
mood.
Oh,
So
I'm
do
all in.
you, are they talking about like Glasgow or like out in the country? Like where in Scotland are they? Is like the,
Where did they go? I can't remember.
okay, that's fine.
Oh, they went
Um,
to Edinburgh.
was that in Scotland?
Huh?
Oh, why did I think that was not in Scotland? That was not. Anyway, that sounds pretty fun.
Yes.
The architecture, I think Austria, like in Vienna, that was probably one of the places that I was most impressed with.
Ooh,
Um, yeah, that was really good. That they just
beautiful.
yeah. So you went, so you were in, I guess like Mildenhall or around England. You were in Scotland. Where else did you go? Or
So
I'm sorry,
just
England and Ireland.
yep, that's it. And then because I was there for 12 days.
Nice.
The Netherlands, how cool. Um, yeah, I was only there for 12 days, so we kinda like we were go, go, go for every single one of those days. It was so fun. I had a proper cup of British tea, which I really liked. It was amazing. But the food was all for Ireland. Like I'll eat Irish stew for the rest of my life and be fat and happy.
I travel the world on my stomach. I feel like Shaggy and Scooby Doo. Like, yeah, travel the world on my stomach.
Yes, we had, and it was like I tried really hard to try different things, but every time that I saw like a Guinness Irish stew or something, I was like, I have to get that. So I got it
Yeah,
like 3 times when we were there. I had to hit the gym hard when I got back for sure because I felt like, ugh,
yeah.
so much beer, so much heavy food.
I had a like a 2 week vacation. I went to so I was almost in England the same time as you were because there was an event called Designer Con, and there's two of them right now. There's one in Anaheim and there's one in London, and it was the same weekend that you were there, but it was also the same weekend as a thing called Dragon Con, and Dragon Con's like a Comic Con in Atlanta. So I had already like told my friends that I would be going to the thing in Atlanta, so I couldn't go to the one in London. But I'll probably go to that next year. But it was 2 week vacation. My friend Lilith came from Austria for the Dragon Con, and then we stayed. So, but and I think we like the whole 2 weeks she was here. We had worked out maybe like 3 times, like maybe. It was so I was up to like 199 pounds of just flab and fat and not goodness, and then I was doing like 2 a days, and I just cut out like all the carbs. There was no alcohol, and it just lost like 8 pounds in like I think like a week and
Wow.
or like 6 days. So it was I was really and it's some most of that was probably water weight, but
Hmm.
and then yeah, I just had a couple of meetings in New York yesterday, like in the city, and I broke the diet. And I'm good today. All I have is a protein shake that I just drank, but I it's so easy to fall off. Like I want
I
stuffed
know.
crust pizza so badly.
So
I
bad.
want a
Sounds so
drink.
good. I
Oh,
know.
so you've had peanut butter whiskey, right?
No, I'm not a whiskey girl. Wait, is
Oh,
that what
never.
you got when you were here? What did you and Jesse get? You got a
Mm,
Did you get a whiskey?
I don't think we did.
No?
I think we just had a lot of beer.
Okay,
You
deal.
you guys had
Yeah.
yeah, we went
Yeah, we enjoy
shopping.
our beer. Yeah.
We went shopping. We got a lot of beer because yeah, we I don't think we went to a liquor store. We just went to the wherever we went, that grocery store near you guys. Um, and then I think we
Oh,
got
you're right. You're right. You're right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
yeah. Um, and then but so there's a peanut butter whiskey I was looking for. They didn't have it, but they had a cookie dough whiskey, and I was like, what? So I had that, mixed that with some Bailey's Irish cream. It was delicious, but it was a lot of sugar, and I just one of the nights I just it wasn't wasn't good.
Not good.
My tummy was making the rumblies.
It
Yeah,
rumbles.
yeah.
So, have you ever heard of a baby Guinness?
No, what's a baby Guinness?
So, we went to like an Irish dancing and dinner show when
Hmm.
we were in Ireland, and we made friends with our table. I panned over to like make sure something that looked bad. So you could be, um, and we made friends with the people at our table, and they were from Australia. A couple was from Alabama, and then there was one guy who I think was local. And they were like, "Hey, do you guys want a baby Guinness?" And we were like, "Oh, sure." We had already had a couple beers, and we thought that they were just a smaller Guinness. Like we just pictured it to be like Guinness, but in a small cup. We're like, "Yeah, that sounds good." But it is like coffee and no, Irish cream liquor and, Kahlua, yeah, so Kahlua and Baileys,
Talk
and it's
dirty
like
to me.
it's like a shot, and it was the most delicious thing that we had ever had. I don't do shots, that's not for me. I'm a strict, like, either beer or wine person, like, I'm not, like, a hard alcohol person,
Yeah.
and so, OMG, it was so good. So, 10 out of 10 recommend if you're
Okay.
into that.
Yeah.
A b a brick Fire taco pizza? I have to go to the gym after this, so don't.
I want
Sounds
to.
so good.
I have so many other things to do. Unfortunately, this is going to be like my third day in a row without the gym, and I'm not okay. I say it might be my fourth day, so I pretty much I think I'm going to gain back all the weight I lost.
It's the
Um,
worst, and it's so easy to fall off and so hard to get back on. And
yeah,
I like, oh, it drives me nuts because it's like I get really like once I get back in the routine, I can like pick it back up really quick because
Yeah,
I'm just trying to find some different like I usually run all the time. That's like my favorite.
yeah, you
But
stay in
they're
really good shape.
offering oh, thank you. They're offering like taekwondo and jujitsu classes on base for free. And so I might try to see what that's all about. Yeah. Like it's
Get
I could probably like kick
it,
some
yeah, get do that jujitsu, and then just so Natasha used to do this to me, where she would because she was proficient in sambo, which is like a Russian form of martial arts, a lot of wrestling, a lot of grappling, and she would just like jump me in the shower and like put me in an arm bar, and she would so I totally get proficient at that and do that to Jesse. Just be like act like you're gonna get all intimate, and then just like put him in, like a rear naked choke.
I love it because we do that like already now. Like,
Oh, so you're gonna surprise him? Like take classes in
yeah, I'll
secret,
actually
and then
know. Yeah, because
unless he
we
watches
watch
it,
yeah, oh,
he wa-
no, I hope he's not here. We watch UFC fights all the time, and every time that we finish watching them, I'm like walking around the house like ready to freaking take him down. But he watches it a lot and kind of like I don't want to say studies it, but he understands it more. And sometimes we'll play around and he'll be like, "Okay, so if I put you in this, how would you get out?" And I'm just like, um, I don't I don't know. I'm like stuck in there. So that's what I'll secretly take lessons. So then when we do that, and I just like can get out of it real quick. Yeah.
that would
Yeah.
be. I don't know how I'd react to. But it was expected from Natasha because she was a professional martial artist. But
Right.
if I had known someone that I knew didn't really have any of that combat experience, and then one day they just pulled a move, like, oh god,
Oh,
like
Jesus, right. 5'2" just coming out of nowhere.
is that how tall you are?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I thought you were tall. I thought you were like 5'4", 5'5". Oh, yeah.
It's really weird how people say that, and I'm like, I no. I
Maybe
still like when I use the like in the car, like the visor thing to fold down, it's I still blinded by the sun. It doesn't matter.
I remember that when you had your truck. I was I think we were going like hiking, and
Mhm.
then you're like, it's so sunny, like, why don't you put the visor down? And then you put it down and it did absolutely nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
It was like, oh, okay, I see now.
Yes, and it's so funny that you say that. I actually had like a premonition yesterday when I was running because there was like this tree that was growing over one of the like on the sidewalk. So I was like running up and I was like, oh, I'll probably have to duck under that like when I'm going. And something distracted me and I looked over and I didn't duck. I didn't need to duck. There was so much clearance and I was like, am I like the small dog syndrome, but like in a human, you know how like small dogs think they're so big or like it's like good Lord. Hobbit, yeah.
I I thought that story might have gone to where like, oh, I'm actually taller than I realized because I come back and then it hit me right in the face,
No,
but it didn't.
no, it's the opposite where I think I will bump my head on things, so I duck and I'm like, I had like a foot of clearance. I didn't need to, but I'm like just so big, just huge.
Maybe people think you're tall as you might just have like a commanding presence. Just like, yeah,
Maybe.
taller than
That
I
would be
really am.
kind of lovely. That's a
Uh,
nice thing to have.
I think I mean because my legs are obviously a bit longer, and you were faster than me when we were sprinting. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah,
Oh,
she's,
we went yeah,
she's
that's right. We went to the gym together out here.
yeah. I was like, oh yeah, she's an athlete. You know.
Oh.
So
I'm trying to work on speed this year because I love distance running,
mhm.
but I'm trying to set some goals of, like, a mile, at a certain time.
Oh, what's the goal for that?
So, my pace is usually, like, 10 minutes a mile when I run, distance, so, like 5 or 6 miles, I'll do, like, 10 minutes a mile, but
Yeah.
I'm really aiming for, like, 9:30 a mile,
Okay.
which it doesn't seem like it would be hard, but it's really hard when you're like especially with my brain when I'm running and I'm like, "Look at that squirrel. I wonder if he has a family and he's getting nuts for his family." And I look and I'm like, "Oh crap, I'm slowing down."
I do that too. Like there was a in so I had a an acting gig like a month or two ago, and the one the first night it was or the first day it was in like a park, and they're doing a couple day shoots. They're doing a couple night shoots. We were there. It's like 4 in the morning. It was nuts. But the before we started, I got there a little early, and there was like this a whole bunch of like ducks that were just like walking from one place to another. So I started interviewing them, like just like, hello ducks, how long have you been here for? Is this a thing that your family migrates back here every year for dozens of years, or did your old place get, demolished by
Ransacked.
humans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd have, like I love those videos where people have the tiny microphones and they, like, work at, like, animal shelters and they interview dogs and stuff. It's my favorite thing, and I want one so bad. I could definitely interview Allie and Penny. They would probably
Oh
have a lot
man,
to say.
they
Mhm.
got a lot of stories. They got to have a bunch of stories. So you got
Bunch
them
of
both when they
stories.
were really puppies, though, right? Like super.
Mhm. Yeah, right when they were able to leave mama, we had
Yeah.
them.
So, because what is your first thought? Well, and I'll put a comment up here. What is your first thought when someone comments or says that?
I think of Star Wars, I think of hello there.
Same thing. Darth Chaos is all the time. It's like, oh, General Darth Chaos.
Yeah, hello
That's
there.
yeah. There are some things that are
I
ingrained
love
in
that.
us that oh, like anytime I hear like 69 or somebody runs, I was like, oh, everyone comment nice down below with 69.
Yep.
Or like even in normal conversation, like at the end of my videos, I'll meow. And
Mhm.
even at the end of like my phone conversations or video chats that have nothing to do with YouTube, all right, bye, meow, 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 meow. And
Yeah, I
then
know. You've done that forever. That's just
it's
that's
true.
a personality trait for you from forever.
Just like I thought you were about to say personality disorder, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that too.
That's a disorder. No. I love that. It's like I actually listened to have you ever listened to the, Markiplier's podcast, Distractable?
No, I do love him though.
It's
How
good.
long? Like, how many episodes does he have in his podcast?
A lot. They started it, last year? Correct me if I'm wrong. They started it a while ago. They have a lot of episodes.
Oh, so I got like 30
The
something episodes.
yeah, they, have a lot of, uh, random conversations, which I love because it's him, Bob, and Wade, so they're, like, obviously, like, close friends, but
Yeah.
anyway, they talked about something that was super interesting, so what they like, the way that they have their, podcast set up, like, one person will, like, say a topic, and then the other 2 have to, like, tell stories about it or, like, ideas and stuff, and so, Bob was talking about how he has a lot of music-based memories about things, and the other 2 were like, No, we don't really have any, like, music-based memories." And I was like, "Dude, my whole life is based off of music memories." And so it, like, blew my mind that I was like, "Nobody else does that?" Like, it's crazy. So I
Associate a
was gonna
song with.
ask you, yeah, like, do you have that? Because I
Oh,
know, like, that's my whole life.
yeah. So there is. Well, there's one. It's like if this was an if I had like I forget what the animals are called like when you do an expecto patronal a patronus charm.
Uh-huh,
Like you
mhm,
need the like really powerful memory. And one of my favorite memories is I'm with my one of my good friends, Jill. We're in Long Island. We're in a at the at Jones Beach. So they have like a theater there at Jones Beach. So
mhm,
it's on the beach. And it was Amy Lee singing while from Evanescence while she was singing while Lindsey Sterling's playing the violin. It was like a dual concert, and so I was on LSD. We were both on LSD. So not only was it like the best concert ever, but there was a light drizzle, and I
mhm,
just I so you ever watch uh Dragon Ball Z Abridged?
mm-mm.
So it's you've seen the original Dragon Ball Z, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So there's remember when they're on Namek and Vegeta finds out that Gohan and Krillin stole some of his Dragon Balls and he's like
Okay.
super angry. He's like, oh, and he's trying to fight. So in the DBZ abridged version, that happens, and then Gohan is saying, Krillin, do you hear that? Do you hear him screaming? And it's like, Gohan, I felt that. So in that very moment, like, and maybe it was the LSD, maybe it was just the good times, but I didn't just hear the music. I felt it, and that was. probably one of the most amazing, happy music memories. And there's a ton of others as well. Um, but that one's probably one of my favorites. What about
Good
you?
one.
Yeah,
I have so like Um, and I want to know too. I want in chat to see if anyone is like this because it's like Jesse, like I have like my house is never quiet. I always have music going at all times, and I've been that way since I was a kid forever. I don't
yeah,
know if it's like some like some only child thing where it's like I never want my house to be quiet because that's how I've always been. I don't know. Anyway,
yeah, same, same.
but like I I was listening to, an album. I don't know if anybody knows who Typo Negative is. Do you know who that is?
I don't think so.
Oh, Peter Steele, he passed away, but, like, he's a babe. He was, like, 6'7", 6'8". He was, like anyway, he's beautiful. I was listening to that album, and that's what my parents listened to, like, when I was younger, and there was one song that came on. I don't have an actual memory with it, but I literally felt so upset listening to that song, and I was like, "There's some, like, weird core memory that's there that I've, like, blocked out from my memory that anytime that freaking song comes on, it, like, evokes some weird, sad, miserable thing." I told my mom about it, and she was like, "Oh," so we're, like, trying to figure out, like, the timeline, like, what it could have been, but I associate so much with music that it blows my mind when other people don't. Um, I have I'm trying to think of or even just, like, when you turn on when Jesse got me my, a Game Boy Color and I, like, turned it on for the first time, I was like, "Oh." Yeah, I know.
Yeah. The- so
Yeah,
there was,
so yeah, okay, so I'm not the only one. It's like music is huge with that, and it's like, either, like, really, like, positive things of, like, obviously when you're in high school, you're very emotional about a lot of stuff, but that's usually like I have songs that come on and I'm like, yeah, high school heartbreak. I'm not going to listen to that one. I'm a 31-year-old woman, little 15-year-old Ashley listening to that song and being heartbroken. It still brings back stuff. It's
yeah,
weird.
it takes you back. It's like I think a lot of
Mhm.
senses do that. Like I've read stories about how like this woman who's like just like a hard woman because her dad was like hard. Her dad was like a mechanic and was like a no BS type of guy, and
Mhm.
always raised her to be a tough woman. And she one day after she gets like she was lived in the city for a while or whatever, so she moves out somewhere and she brings her car to like a mechanic shop and she starts like bawling because her dad owned a mechanic shop. It has nothing to do with the mechanic shop. It was the smell of like the
Smell.
diesel, the
Mhm.
smell of like the thing. She's like, and I just I don't have a sense of smell, so nothing like that'll ever
Yeah.
happen for me.
I know cuz I remember asking you I was like, "You got to meet Markiplier. What did he smell like?" And you're like, "I don't know." It's like, "Damn it. You're my one key to know."
He's so cool. So I actually think that I could probably, I mean, probably not, but maybe. Like I've had a bunch of cool people on the podcast. I feel like does he have a Twitter?
Yeah, I think so. I don't have Twitter though, but I think
Oh,
he does.
okay, I'll reach out to him like, hey, I love you. Friend Ashley loves you. Can I get you on the podcast?
You can promote Distractable on there too,
And,
his podcast.
oh yes, totally,
Yeah.
totally. Uh,
Oh, I
but
love that. Yeah, I think smells for me too. Like, uh, not to get super depressing, but when my mom was going through chemo, she's alive and well and doing amazing. We have dinner plans tonight. Like, everything is fabulous.
tell her I said hi.
But what's that?
Tell her I said hi.
I will, I will. Um, so when she was going through chemo, her, like, sense of smell got so fucked up screwed up, excuse me, that, like I don't know, do you cuss on on your
I mean, I
streams?
don't, but you can. It's fine.
Okay, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm a teacher, and I cuss more than 90% of the people I know. Anyway, um, so her sense of smell changed, and a lot of her perfumes she could not wear anymore because it, like, just made her feel, like, nauseous, or she was like, "Oh, that smells horrible." So she gave them to me, and then Jesse and I moved. I literally have not thrown away her perfume still to this day because, I was like, "What if I can't ever smell her again?" So I kept all of her bottles of perfume. They're still in my drawer in my bathroom. I still have them all because her This is crazy. Are you ready for this? My 31 years of life, my mom has never smelt bad, ever. Bad breath, never. BO, never. She just always smells so good. I could close my eyes and like hug a person. I'd be like, that's my mom. I can like smell her. Um, so that was like a huge thing that like just sense of smell for it's like my mom. So I
Uh,
kept all of her perfumes because I was like, I need
uh,
it. What if I can't ever smell her again?
So is that something? So one that's so wild to me that people can not hear something, not feel something, or see it, but you know that it's there. Like that
Mhm.
is such a superpower to me. It's like, oh, I smell this. Like, how the fudge do
How
like,
how? Yeah.
but the other thing was like, so is that like genetic? Like, just like, do you smell good? I know
I don't
that's like a
know.
weird
I
ass
think so.
question.
I know I was just about to ask you. I'm like, I don't know. Do I? But I was like, oh, never mind.
Uh,
I think so because Jesse always says that I smell nice when we hug, and we've been together for a very long time, and so like that's good. Think so.
so because I don't have that, I guess I have the other memories. Like it wasn't Trans Siberian Orchestra. I forget what it's called, but it's this major orchestra that they go and they played Pokemon music. And yeah, I forget what they're called, but they do a concert or multiple concerts a year, and they cover all the years, but they started with Pallet Town, and just the like as just takes you back. Like
Video games
so
are a big one. Absolutely.
yeah. But I've also read that there are people that if they close their eyes and you tell them to think of what a tree looks like, they
Hmm.
can't do it. Like they can't imagine it.
Yes, I have heard about that, and it blows my mind.
Yeah, my ex had that thing. She's like, yeah, I don't like I know what a tree is, but like so I'm trying to think like when you read,
How do
how do you
you
envision what they're saying? They're like, well, you understand it. It's like, but you can't picture it. Like you can't picture these giant big walls. Like if you're reading Lord of the Rings and you're looking at the deeping wall of Helm's Deep or you're reading about it, you can't picture rocks and you can't picture like
It's so crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, I've read about that before. I heard it on a podcast. I can't remember who was talking about it, but I was like, "That's so crazy." And there's even like some of these little tests that like say like, "Okay, I want you to picture an apple." And the way that you picture it talks about like your personality. Like some people, if I were to say like, close your eyes and picture an apple, what does your apple look like?
And right now it's like I guess like a big Macintosh, you know.
Is it real or is it cartoon?
I don't know, it's real.
Yeah.
It's a red apple. Yeah. So
See, if I were to do that, I picture a cartoon red apple.
oh. Well, I can picture a cartoon.
But because I mentioned it, now you're like,
Yeah.
"Well, I can do that too." But, like, it's like what you're automatically you picture, so and then it also goes to, like, some people picture a green apple, like a Granny Smith apple,
Yeah.
or, it's super crazy. I love that crap so
What
much.
does it say about you though if you
I don't
picture one
know. I wonder how do you Google that?
cartoon? Oh God.
How you picture apples?
Like when
Can
you
you picture an apple in your mind?
there's got to be I feel like there's definitely a niche profession out there, like professional Googlers. You explain to them what you want and they can just translate it into the best Google search. I'm kind of things green apple.
Yeah, so, like,
So,
there's one where if someone says, like, "Picture 5," what do you see?
number 5?
Yeah.
I see a black 5.
Yeah, I picture it to be, like, white.
Oh. Are you picturing it white because when you close your eyes, you have a black background?
Maybe. Yeah, so there's, like, an image, and it's, like, after you answer the question of, like, picturing an apple, it shows you 5 different pictures. One is, like, a realistic apple, one is, like, a cartoon one is kind of, like, gray, one is white, and then the last one is
That for the colorblind?
black. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I should ask
Five
my
black.
friend is colorblind, I should ask him, like, if you picture
Yeah.
yeah, so, uh, Omi Panda said green.
Yeah.
See? I love that. I think that's so cool. I don't know, I'm into all that
I
stuff.
I would love to do this, but under like a quantitative encephalography where you can see what parts of the brain are blowing up.
Yes.
That'd be fun.
And
Uh,
there was I wish I remembered what it was called, but there's this artist
mhm.
that paints what she sees in music. So she can like
Oh, I've
s
heard about that. Yeah.
yes, dude, and I am, like, wanting to do that so bad because I do that a lot, like, whenever even when I'm listening to music, I, like, picture certain things, like, there's a part in a Beatles song, um, that to me, it sounds like a whole bunch of chickens, like, can dancing.
Wait, what song?
Okay, let me think for a second. Um,
I wasn't making funny faces at you.
I could hear the whole thing. Lady Madonna, that's what it is.
Okay.
Lady Madonna. And so then there's like a part that's like ba 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 da, ba 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 ba, and I always picture like a whole bunch of chickens like can dancing and I've always wanted to draw music, but the way that this artist does it is like very like abstract.
When you say like actual chickens or like chickens from like Chicken Run?
Actual chickens for sure.
Okay. Gotcha.
With like but like with like human legs. And they and they have and they have heels on and they're like can
Okay.
dancing together.
I would love to
I'm
get into
12
your
years old,
mind.
apparently. Yeah.
I would love. Oh, dude, yeah. I would love to get into your
I
mind.
and I don't know because I'm like that with my dreams too. I have the craziest dreams, as you know. I've shared a lot of my
Yeah.
dreams with you. They're always so wild and they make no sense.
Oh, my messenger is not working right now. It hasn't for.
Oh, I saw
Oh,
that.
actually, this one is working, or it won't let me type. But I had a dream the other day. It was nuts. It was three dreams in one where I was running. Like I'll just send it to you. Because or I'll copy and then I'll send it to you on the
Okay.
Snapchat.
Okay.
Um, yeah, it's absolutely wild. So when we were talking about art, and you were talking about the hearing music or I think some people can also taste color, like they can
Mm,
taste music and stuff too.
yes.
Well, how do you feel about AI generated art, like art created by artificial intelligence?
Craziness. I haven't really dove too much into it, but my buddy and I were messing around with it, and I was like, oh, maybe I could get like my own because I've been thinking about with my Twitch channel of like instead of having it a picture of me, but like making like my own icon or like a cartoon version. And so
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Carl, let's get some like ideas. So he did the AI thing and put like Ash Weasel, and it was terrifying. And I was like, never mind. It's wild. I don't really understand it very much. Like I
I
said, I've only watched one video of a person who was, like, exploring what it was, and that's as far as I got. I was like, "What is happening?"
I got my friend Brock does it where this is just like one of the things I don't know what he puts into it to describe it.
Ooh,
Obviously, that's like I think space or something like that.
mm,
Um,
balls.
yeah, I think it has something to do with Uranus because he says this is what AI thinks your butt looks like. I hope you've had a pretty okay day. Like,
Balls and Uranus, I think, is actually the 2 words that he would've
yeah, I mean I don't know what this. It's like a universe with a
Whoa.
I don't know, a deer,
A
like a buck,
deer.
and other things, like a Pokemon maybe. I don't know, but I think it's pretty awesome.
It's
Um,
crazy.
my friend Brock has these. So I know, like, you obviously collected Pokemon cards when you were younger. How do you feel about digital collectibles?
Um, I don't know, I'm a very tangible person.
Yeah, like I see
Like
the Yoshi egg in the background. Like,
yeah, like I could easily buy all those Switch games on, like, the Nintendo shop, but I have to buy them records. I have lots of records because I want to hold them, and Jesse's the same way, we still buy Bluetooths. Oh,
yeah,
those
I
Nintendo
understand
Switch
having the
Grandmaster.
physical and the
Yes.
um and so like I've said the story like so many times before where I feel like a boomer like over the last 10 years or so where kids will come into comic book stores and they'll buy the comic, the physical comic, just to scan it on the QR code, just so they could read it on their phones. And I was thinking, like, okay, I could understand paying Marvel like the $10 a month to read every comic ever,
Everything,
like on your
right,
phone.
yeah.
But if you have the physical comic and you're still choosing to read it on your phone, I don't understand. I understand it enough to know that that's where the world is going, and that's why I've
Yeah.
been buying a lot of digital comics. Um, but I mean, they don't make encyclopedias anymore. They don't make a bunch of stuff. So I mean,
I
I
know.
think they'll still always have comics and stuff, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's just wild. So they're talking about Feesh. Feesh are like these things that
Oh.
they're it's the first. So it's a digital collectible. There are only 10,000 of them. I think like 3,500 are bought or something. So only 10,000 of these can ever be made. And this is the first digital collectible or NFT that dies. So you get a fish called Feesh, and then you get like a tank with it. You get like a mech suit, so you can fight other fish. It's really fun. So it's like a game, and you can make money with it. You can wager, but the reason why he had them die, he says, because a lot of people say that, well, they're digital, so like you can't touch them. And then he says, like, okay, well, what if they can touch you? And then that's why he made them like, like where they die. So you remember. I was like,
Oh.
yeah. So I was like, oh, that's so I
So, Tamagotchis.
yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Which I was like, whenever I'd be in school and I would be like, "Oh my gosh, my poor dog is probably starving and there's probably poop everywhere. I gotta make sure that I run home and take care of it." That's crazy. I have never heard of that.
Yeah, he puts in these things where the fish can send you emails and they have feelings too. Like you can decorate your tank and you could have different colored lights, and your fish will let you know if they don't like that type of light. So you feel like really bad. It's like, oh God, no.
I
Yeah,
don't like green.
it's so strange. But so
Whoa.
yeah, it's really cool.
Oh,
So we've been going on for about an hour. I know you got to bounce. One last thing you wanted to tell people, whether it's like your experiences about whether it be travel, whether be teaching, what are some things that people should know that you want to impart your wisdom on?
so taking this trip to Europe was not only like a really cool experience, but it was one of the most like self-empowering things I have ever done. I'm have anxiety, depression, I'm like have medication, I go to therapy and stuff. Traveling that far by myself was I was so scared to do it alone, and it was very confidence building, so, like, for people who are like me that are really anxious to go to do things, excuse my language, but fucking do it. It's so worth it. Do it. I was so I was so sad that my best friend forever, my husband, wasn't able to go, but it was such a, like, solo like, I don't know, I just it boosted, like, my confidence about what I am capable of. It was huge for me,
So
and
you think like,
so
mhm.
do it is my I don't know, I think I should brand that. No one else has done that, right? Just do it. Just kidding.
You can totally get away with it.
Yeah, yeah, it's fine.
So you
Yeah.
think that in the Netflix series, like a 5 season, 12 episodes per season show called The Fentons, this is like your solo episode. That was like your
That
solo
was my
journey.
solo episode, yeah, and it's so sweet because I was really nervous that I was gonna get scared.
My
My
day.
bae!
My
Both
day.
are bae, yeah. I told Jesse the day before I left, I was like, "Can you write me a note that I could stick in my wallet just in case that I, like, start to have, like, a panic attack on the plane or, when I'm by myself somewhere?" So he wrote me, like, a two-page note, and I put it in my wallet, and I didn't have to read it until I got back because I didn't need it, but my words of wisdom: fucking do it. Do the things that you wanna do. It'll be so worth it. Also, find a person who supports you the way that my love does. I love that he's here too.
Yeah, he's great. We love
The
him.
best, yeah.
The I think he might have been working, but when I was leaving for deployment and you and Kathy were there, I was like that meant a lot to me. Because
Oh, yes.
yeah,
Get people that, I don't know, just, like, love you. You know, there's, like, friends who are like, "Yeah, love ya," but, like, love you, you know what I mean?
yeah,
We, like, love you.
agreed. Well, so that is it for today. I'll just keep you off camera for a bit after I end the broadcast. Everyone, thank you for coming by. Link
Yeah.
link to Ash's channel, Ash Weasel. Everyone say bye bye to Dutchie. Bye bye, Dutchie. I'll talk to you later. Bye bye. Meow.